Good afternoon, YouTube. It's Rich from Have Moto Will Travel. Welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you've never been here, welcome. I'm glad you showed up. Here in New Hampshire, and we are having a halfway decent day. It's not warm. It's just about 40 degrees at this point, but I'm not going to miss the opportunity to take a ride. We do not have that many days like this left. Now, I'm going to tell you, the problem with riding at a time like this is here on the back roads, they can sometimes be wet. And if there are spots in the shade that are wet, they can actually freeze over. I had a friend of mine last week was riding on dirt, and he went over some ice on the dirt road. It was a little puddle, and he thought that he would break through, which I think he did. I think he said he broke through the ice, but there was ice underneath it, and he went down and kind of hurt his ribs. And you really have to watch out for the same thing on back roads. Now, I just came up the hill that's adjacent to the hill that I live on, and up at the top of the hill there was a wet spot. I don't really know where the moisture came from, but I kind of swerved to avoid it, although I couldn't avoid all of it. And as I went over it, I realized that there was ice. There was ice. It was in the shade, and you really just have to be careful this time of year. It's smart to stay either on the interstate or even on back roads, numbered back roads, main back roads, that even if a little bit of ice does form, it's usually worn out by the tires from cars that have preceded you. But you really, really, really have to be careful this time of year. I'm glad I got this new battery in this motorcycle. It got plenty of cranking power. Of course, I guess a fresh battery always does, but I bought the battery with more cold cranking amps this time. I had to kind of hook up the cables differently, but it works. I still have some electrical things that I want to do on this bike, including getting it hooked up for heated gear. It's just nice to have. This is the road I was riding on pretty frequently when I was trying to work out the problems with this bike when I got it back on the road. I like to talk when I'm riding. I like to talk about whatever is on my mind. I know it's not particularly interesting to most people, but that's okay. I like to have these videos, as I mentioned before, just to know what I was thinking on the days that I took a ride. I can cut the videos and have them for my purposes only, but I figure if I cut the video, I might as well just post it. Some people will watch, most people won't. I'm used to that, but that's fine. I have it. My brother-in-law sent me a comment on my last video saying that it is heartwarming to see me enjoying myself on a motorcycle because, for the most part, I'm an old grouch. I can't say that I disagree with that. I don't try to be an old grouch. It just comes naturally. And you know, the funny thing is, I was an old grouch even when I was young. I'm just kidding. Maybe I'm not just kidding. So what's going on in YouTube land? I saw that just before I left the house, I saw that Tony Raino What's up, Tony Raino? I haven't talked to you in a while. He left me a comment on my last video saying that these days he sponsors himself. I guess I sponsor myself too. It's a great expense, but that's okay. I'm having a good time. That's the main thing. I did see a video that I want to watch from Cake and Rich from Boots and Jeans Riders. It was on, I think, Luxury Moto Camping. I saw that come across my feed. I'm gonna make it every effort to watch that today. What's up, Cake and Rich? Man, you're good people. You're good people. You came and visited me, and I'll appreciate that to the day I die. It was such a nice time visiting with you and sharing a meal. Come back again sometime. Or you know what? One of these days I'll come out and see you. I'll meet up with you somewhere. I don't know if I'll go out to California. Too many Californians out there. But I might meet you somewhere in the country, somewhere along the way. That would be nice. I'd enjoy that, seeing you guys again. So many people I would like to meet that I've seen on YouTube or kind of had an online relationship with. I was supposed to go to Europe. What was it, last year or the year before? I can't really remember. I was supposed to go to Europe and ride with Tony Raino. And I think actually Boots and Jeans were going to go too. And that kind of fell through with COVID. So we never got a chance to do that. And then on my trip out west in 2023, I had plans to meet up with Tony somewhere in Nevada, I think we had decided on. I was out that way, and he was getting back from Europe, but he got he didn't. I don't think he got COVID, but somebody that he had been on his European trip with had gotten COVID, and he was self-quarantining. So we never got to make that happen, and I was disappointed. I really wanted to meet Tony and shake his hand. And who else? Who else did I want to meet? I had put some. I had reached out. You know, it's kind of disappointing when you reach out to somebody that you'd like to meet on that you've seen on YouTube. You know, I've met Memphis Mike. I think we've become friends. We kind of text each other back and forth. But some people that you reach out to just really kind of have no interest in meeting you. And it's a little disappointing, but you know, that's life. Not everything's a fit. But I have reached out to other people that really kind of showed no interest in meeting up. And you know what? The only thing that I'll say is, I'm happy when they're just they're honest enough. They're honest enough to not respond to me reaching out. You know, if I'll say we should get together, like you know, we live close enough to each other, or let's meet somewhere halfway, and you never hear anything back. You can kind of take a hint, and it's a little disappointing. But you know, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I know that. My wife barely likes me. I'm just kidding, honey. I know you love me. Very pleasant riding today. I'd rather have it a little on the cool side than a little on the hot side. I do better in the cold. Maybe it's from all the years of skiing that I did. Just kind of more used to it. The heat beats the crap out of me. There's one thing that this bike has that I really do not like, and it's a heel shifter. I'm thinking about. I wish it was the kind of heel shifter that the Harley Davidsons have, that you can kind of just remove it. Can't do that on this. It's a solid piece with the regular shifter, and I've often thought about just cutting it off, but I'm always thinking about the next guy to own this, whoever that may be, either one of my sons, or if I ever decide to sell it, that somebody might like that. So I leave it on, but I always feel like it's kind of in my way. It's funny because I've heard guys talk who have always had heel shifters, and when they ride a bike without a heel shifter, they're kind of not lost, but it feels weird to them, like this one does to me, because I never use it, honestly. I wanted to. Well, I guess I don't have to. I just stopped. I was. I made some adjustments on this bike after I put the new spark plugs in, and one of those was to the idle, and I think I had it set too low. At first, I had it set too high, and it was idling almost. It was on the verge of racing. And when I got it home last time, it was all nice and warmed up, so I adjusted it. But I think I adjusted it too low. So when I was having trouble getting it started, once I got it started, I adjusted it up a little bit. And it seems to be just about right now. Because I mean, when I stop, I don't notice that there's anything out of place. So, oh God, it's good to be out on a motorcycle today. I was actually thinking about getting on this thing, if the weather cooperates, after the first of the year, and riding it down to Florida. Crazy, right? That might be a gas, just to have a bike down there. Although I really have no desire to ride in Florida, at least around where my sister lives. Way too flat. Way too many multi-lane roads, and it's just not interesting. I'd have to ride, I don't know, north or west from where she lives to get to any place interesting. And maybe what I'll do is, I don't know, we'll see. I was going to say maybe I'll go down. I've never been to Daytona Bike Week. Maybe I'll do that this year if the weather cooperates. I think that's in February, though, isn't it? That's not out of the question. That's not out of the question. Made a pretty good meal for tonight, just before I left. Chicken, onions, tomatoes, spinach, mushrooms, andouille sausage and shrimp. Sauteed, kind of in layers, and I'll put a picture up, and then covered in cheese. I'm a pretty good cook, if I do say so myself. I shouldn't say I'm a pretty good cook. I guess what I cook is pleasing to me. I don't know about anybody else, but I enjoy the dishes that I make. My kids used to encourage me when they were young, Dad, make a concoction, make a concoction. That's what they would call it. Make a concoction. You know, there were just some nights I'd come home and Sharon worked at night at UPS, and I'd be in charge of putting dinner together, and they'd want a concoction. So I'd start looking at what we had available and put something together. They always seem to enjoy it. I want to tell you guys, every time I go out for a ride, at some point during the ride, I think to myself, I am so blessed to be able to do this again. This was like a big piece of my life that was just gone for too many years. And I never forget how lucky I am. I really don't. Here we go. Highway. Yeah, if the weather was like this, all the way down to Florida, I could do this easily. This is, as I said, I don't even have heated gear on. And this is very doable temperature-wise. Maybe I should just head down there right now. What do you think? Sharon told me before I left to watch out for cars because at this time of year, they're not watching out for me. Pretty sage advice, I would say. I think I'm getting the hang of starting this 2000 Suzuki VL1500 LC Intruder when it's cold. I crank the throttle a few times, pull the choke out just a little bit, and as I crank it, I give it just a little bit of gas and then let off, and she fires pretty much right up. It's still a learning process. That's okay. That's it, folks. Over and out.